Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido and today we're coming in from Eterna City where the Devons are hosting the PokeType and they are hoping to end their season, but as they send out their starting lineups and Arcanine does put out that Intimidate ability, let's have a look at that tail of the tape, because that is right, the PokeType, if they lose this game, they are out of contention to make it into Victory Road, and the Eterna Devons are all too familiar with that, being last season's Wooden Crown winners, if you'd call it winners. But with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think's going to win this matchup. Will it be the grass types? Will it be the rock types? Let's go.
3, 2, 1, go!
But as we said, it is going to be Arcanine the Terrestrial Draftee, joined by Hisui and Avalugg. Starting out for the PokeType, it's going to be Hydrapple and that Alolan Decidueye starting out for the Eterna Devons, trying to get the Devons back into a Leaders 8 position and make their debut in Victory Road for the first time. But Arcanine, with that speed control, is going to go for the Scorching Sands, immediately focusing in onto Hydrapple with that not very effective move. And Decidueye is able to respond with the Sleep Powder. It is going to put Avalugg to sleep here on the field, which is great for the Devons. They can try and focus in here onto Arcanine, as Hydrapple is going to go with the Horn attack, and not very effective move onto the newly crowned rock type, as Avalugg is fast asleep on the field. Arcanine is going to have to do all the heavy lifting, that is that Cantonian Arcanine, but that spit up is going to fail because it has not gone for a stockpile, allowing Decidueye to go for the Thunder, bringing that down onto Arcanine for some good damage, and it leaves it with that paralysis as well. That is going to slow down Arcanine. It may also make it unable to move, and Hydrapple follows it up with the Worry Seed. It's going to get rid of that Intimidate that doesn't really matter anymore because it's already exerted that over the Devons, lowering their physical attack, but it has now acquired that Insomnia ability. And speaking of being unable to sleep, Avalugg has awoken and it goes for the disable onto Decidueye, making it so that Decidueye is going to be struggling here on the field with no moves left. It will get that recoil damage, so the skulls don't have to worry about doing damage to Decidueye. It's going to do it to itself, as Hydrapple with the Clear Smog now onto that awoken Avalugg. Not very effective, but still gets in some good damage, eliminating all stat changes. But Avalugg is going to respond with the Meteor Mash, getting in some good damage there onto the Grass Dragon type, as Arcanine is unable to move due to its paralysis, but unable to go on the offensive how it would like. There is that recoil damage after the struggle for Decidueye. Hydrapple, trying to do its part, is going to splash around. That is not what we meant. Clearly it cannot get on the same page with itself, as nothing happens, allowing the Moonlight for Avalugg to take place. It is going to restore its health back to full strength. However, Arcanine once again unable to shake off that paralysis. Decidueye will be able to capitalize, but unfortunately it is still struggling here on the field. Going for Avalugg, very little damage, getting that recoil on itself, as Hydrapple is going to go for the Quiver Dance now. It is going to boost that special attack, that's base 120, as well as boosting that special defense and its speed, although the Devons currently have full speed control. Avalugg setting up the Iron Defense. It is going to boost that already massive 184 base physical defense, as once again Arcanine is unable to move due to that paralysis. Hydrapple, looking to capitalize, is going to not miss because it's going for the Smart Strike to get that elimination with that super effective move. Arcanine has been taken out of this matchup, and that is not the start that the Skulls want, because they need to keep their season alive with a victory here as that sunlight comes back out over the field. Decidueye continuing to struggle, goes for Avalugg, very little damage. It is put into knockout range with that recoil damage. Avalugg could capitalize, it goes for the matcha, gotcha. But Decidueye is actually able to get out of the way of that move. It will be able to stay in this match for a little bit longer, but it's not very effective there. Onto Hydrapple, and there is a little bit of health being restored for Avalugg in the process, having drained it from Hydrapple, who is going to be left with that burn that is going to cut into its physical attack, but it has already boosted that special attack previously, and there is that burn doing that passive damage. As Decidueye is finally no longer disabled, it is going to be Rhyperior coming out for the PokeType. Hydrapple with the Overheat onto Avalugg, capitalizing on that part Ice typing to get that elimination, lowering that boosted special attack in the process, but an early lead for the Devons, as Decidueye follows it up with the Confusion onto Rhyperior. Getting some good damage. Rhyperior responds with the Skitter Smack to ensure that elimination of Decidueye. The Skulls needed to get that one on the board so that the Devons would not run away with it. And there is that burn continuing to afflict Hydrapple in the process, as it is going to be Rillaboom coming out for the Eterna Devons. It's going to be Rampardos coming out for the Pewter Skulls, and there is that Grassy Surge ability coming into play, setting up that grassy terrain, so everybody who has had damage done to them will be having their health restored, as Rillaboom is going to set up the charge. It will be boosting that special defense, but also begin charging power on this turn. So if it goes for any electric type moves, surely it won't focus in on Rhyperior, who is part ground type. The magnetic flux from Hydrapple is going to fail. This opens the door for Rampardos to try and capitalize by going with the mean look onto Rillaboom. It is going to make it so Rillaboom can no longer escape, but it is not looking to go anywhere, as Rhyperior, with the Cotton Guard on the field, it is going to boost that defense a great deal. It's base 130, it's got 140 base attack, a massively physical Pokemon, but the Pewter Skulls are a greatly physical side, and they need to put that into play here in this game, as Rillaboom is going to go with the Ingrain. We've already got the Grassy Terrain in play. It's going with the Ingrain, planting those roots, wanting to ensure it stays at maximum health. The Axe Kick, though, from Hydrapple, super effective, but actually didn't do that much to Rampardos, as that lowered attack on Hydrapple, the magnetic flux from Rampardos, is going to fail. Rhyperior, though, with the Sacred Fire, putting Hydrapple into knockout range. That health will be restored thanks to the Grassy Terrain, but Hydrapple's will be offset by that burn as well. But that Grassy Terrain is surely keeping it in this matchup longer, as Rillaboom is going to go for the spin out onto Rampardos, and with that super effective move, Rampardos has been taken out of this matchup. Rillaboom giving up a great deal of its speed to do so in the process, but Hydrapple does follow it up with the Sacred Sword. Super effective, but very, very minimal damage being done to Rhyperior, who responds with the Fissure, but that is going to be avoided by Rillaboom, as that Grassy Terrain continues to restore the health of everybody on the field. But Rillaboom is still at full strength, and there is that burn keeping Hydrapple in knockout range, and it is going to be Probopass coming out for the Pewter Skulls, as Hydrapple sets up the Stealth Rocks on the side of the Pewter Skulls. They have one Pokemon remaining on the bench who we do not know who that is yet, but those pointed stones will be waiting for it, as Probopass goes with the round, trying to take Hydrapple out of this matchup, and it gets so close, but Hydrapple hangs on. We get the Tail Glow follow-up from Rhyperior. It doesn't finish off Hydrapple. Instead, it is going to boost its special attack a great deal. As we mentioned earlier, it is much more of a physical Pokemon, and it is on the receiving end of a Confuse Ray from Rillaboom. Rhyperior needs to avoid doing damage to itself, because it could do massive damage to whoever it lays a finger on, or Rock Fist thing, as that health continues to be restored for everybody, but it keeps Hydrapple very easy target for the Pewter Skulls. However, Hydrapple with the Giga Drain is going to take Rhyperior out of this matchup. Critical hit, super effective quad damage to take out the Rock Ground type, and Hydrapple gets some much needed health restored in the process. This is not looking good for the Pewter Skulls. They only have 2 Pokemon left. The Soft Boiled from Probopass is going to fail because it is at full strength, and this allows Rillaboom to try and capitalize with the Freeze Dry. Probopass tanks that not very effective move, as Hydrapple feeling the effects of that Grassy Terrain still, as does Probopass, almost getting itself back to full strength. But very clever for Hydrapple to have so much of its health restored, as that grass does finally disappear from the field. And the last Pokemon for the Pewter Skulls is Tyranitar with that Sandstream ability as well. It is going to kick up a Sandstorm over the field, as Hydrapple is going to go for the stored power, cleverly not going for Tyranitar, who would have been immune, but it's not very effective onto Probopass, allowing a Mystical Fire from Tyranitar, gets in some good damage there onto Hydrapple, lowering its special attack in the process. Probopass is going to follow it up with the Struggle Bug, capitalizing on the Grass type's weakness, there being super effective on both members of the Eterna Devons, and lowering their special attack in the process. Rillaboom, however, responds with the Giga Impact. It is going to go for Probopass there, but does very minimal damage with that not very effective move. However, there is that Sandstorm doing damage to both Rillaboom and Hydrapple. It actually puts Hydrapple into knockout range, as Rillaboom does have its health restored thanks to those roots that are planted very early on. However, Hydrapple feeling the effects of that burn, and it's not offset by the Grassy Terrain now. It is going to go for the Shell Side Arm, but it goes for Probopass, who is part Steel type, so it is immune. This allows Tyranitar to go for the Defend Order. It is going to boost that physical and special defense, and this is a highly defensive Pokemon. 110 physical defense, 100 special defense. And we get the Headlong Rush from Probopass to finish Hydrapple off, who has been in this matchup since the very start. Probopass lowering its own defenses in the process. But the Pewter Skulls are at a 2-4 disadvantage. Rillaboom does have to recharge and is feeling the effects of that Sandstorm. The Skulls need to do their best and start getting these eliminations to keep the season alive. The Eternal Devon's trying to get back into the leaders 8. Out comes Go-Goat immediately. It is going to go with the Poison Powder. Very clever to do so onto Tyranitar. That is going to leave it with that passive damage chipping away at its health. Tyranitar is going to respond with the Malignant Chain. This is going to be super effective, doing massive damage to Go-Go. Tyranitar definitely wants to keep that season alive. The Leer from Probopass is going to lower that physical defense of both Rillaboom and Go-Goat here, as Rillaboom is going to respond with the Noble Roar onto Tyranitar. It is going to lower that base 134 physical attack as well as lower its special attack as well. And there's that Sandstorm doing that damage to both Go-Goat and Rillaboom. But Tyranitar is going to be feeling the effects of that poisoning. It needs to act quick and get these eliminations before that poisoning potentially takes it out of this match. Go-Go is going to go for the Water Pulse here on to Probopass. Super effective, getting in some good damage, and it's left it with that confusion. It may do damage to itself if it cannot shake it off. But first, Tyranitar with the Ice Punch, super effective. On to Rillaboom. Tyranitar is doing everything it can. Probopass needs to shake off this confusion, keep up the momentum. It is successful. It's going to go for the Dazzling Gleam, connecting with both grass types, putting them both into knockout range. Rillaboom responds with the False Swipe, but that is not a shiny Probopass, and that does very little damage with that not very effective move, as that Sandstorm continues to do damage to both Go-Go and Rillaboom. The Skulls need to capitalize on this, as Rillaboom does have its health restored thanks to those roots that are planted into the ground. There is Tyranitar still feeling the effects of that poisoning as well. Go-Go with the Leech Seed, very intelligently planting those seeds around Probopass to sap it of its energy. Tyranitar, however, with the Liquidation onto Rillaboom, and it gets the elimination with that not very effective move, trying to keep the Pewter Skulls in this match. The Devons, though, are still in front with that 3-2 advantage. Probopass needs to shake off this confusion and needs to get the elimination of Go-Goat, but it's unsuccessful. It does do damage to itself in its confusion. The Sandstorm has subsided as well, as that Leech Seed is going to sap the health of Probopass, giving it to Go-Goat, who desperately needs to have its health restored. However, still losing its health from that poisoning is Tyranitar, who is keeping on the offensive. It is going to be Chestnut coming out for the Eternal Devons. Go-Goat with the Dragon Pulse onto Tyranitar, getting some good damage there to chip away at it. Chestnut follows up with the Fissure, but it goes for Probopass with that sturdy ability, so it will not work, allowing Tyranitar to go for the Entrainment. Very clever, because it goes for Chestnut here. It's going to give it that Sandstream ability, which means we are going to have another Sandstorm come into play, which will benefit the Pewter Skulls. And we do have our first time winner of this matchup. We could potentially go into overtime as the Hypnosis from Probopass onto Go-Goat. Not trying to go for the elimination, which it definitely should have, because it doesn't want to have to deal with that Leech Seed, restoring the health of Go-Goat, who is such an easy target. That Sandstorm will be doing that chip damage, but it will be having its health restored. Chestnut also feeling the effects of that as well, but there is that Leech Seed sapping the health of Probopass, who is now in knockout range, restoring the health of Go-Goat, doing more for it than what the Sandstorm was actually taking. And there is that poisoning still doing that damage to Tyranitar. Go-Goat is fast asleep. It is an easy target. Tyranitar could go for it, but first Chestnut is going to go for the Flower Trick. This critical play onto Probopass to get the elimination. Tyranitar is all by itself. The Pewter Skulls have one Pokemon remaining. Their season could be over. Dragon Breath, though, from Tyranitar, not enough to take out Go-Goat. That Sandstorm, though, could be it, and it does. Go-Goat is eliminated. It is Chestnut and whoever is remaining on the side of the Eternal Devons up against Tyranitar, who has that poisoning to contend with that is going to put it into knockout range. It needs to go for something massive, as it is going to be Sceptile coming out for the Eternal Devons. Immediately Sceptile is going to go for the Haze. It doesn't go for the easy elimination. The Devons need this to try and get back into the leaders 8. All stat changes have been illuminated. Chestnut follows it up with the Bounce. It is going to spring up high into the sky. It won't get out of the Sandstorm, though. We're in the countdown. The Lumina Crash onto Sceptile. Good damage from Tyranitar. It may not be enough. That special defense does get lowered. It needs to hang on from the poisoning, as that Sandstorm does damage to the grass types. Tyranitar needs to hold on, but it is unsuccessful after doing everything it could. That poisoning that was set up by Go-Go has taken out Tyranitar, and the Pewter Skulls are mathematically out of contention of making it into Victory Road this season. They will still have one game left, but they are out, whereas the Devons have moved themselves into the Leaders 8, and next round they are going up against the Mahogany Explorers in our holiday matchup, whereas for the Skulls, they still have one game left, and that is against the Ula Macros. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.